Hi guys, this is Johann with Puerto Vallarta Tours by Johann and Sandra at puertovallartatours.net. And I am here to share with you today the latest update on the travel protocols and how you get to Puerto Vallarta when you want to go, what you need to do when you get there, what to expect. We had a video back in July when everything first opened that most of that stuff is still the same, but now there's been a few updates and a few changes that I want to make sure that you're aware of. So I'm just particularly the United States and Canada have instituted a couple of testing requirements that I want to share with you what that means to you and whether you need to worry about that or not. Okay, so first off, I want to start with what is the experience you will have in Puerto Vallarta? Like, what's there? Like, is it open? Is it can I even go? What's the deal? Right now in Puerto Vallarta, everything is pretty much open. There's really nothing that is closed except for some nightclubs are not operating still because it's not really nightclub life right now in the coronavirus time. Other places have converted to restaurants or they're outdoors and things like that that is more safe. There's no the beaches are open. All of our tours and activities are pretty much running. The shared activities are not as shared as they used to be. They're smaller groups, more social distance. You'll notice that difference. But in this day and age, that's social distance is still the name of the game. And a lot of people are enjoying our private tours and private boats and things like that, just to not have to worry about being near other people. But the shared stuff is still going really well. It's all with the latest protocols from the WHO and WTTC. Same protocols they're using all over the world. And Mexico, of course, is taking all of this really, really seriously. They work really hard to make sure that you're going to be safe and have a good time when you come. And I emphasize both: be safe and have a good time, not only one or the other. So, and I think you'll see that when you get here. And it's all over the social media and TripAdvisor and whatever right now. You can see people are reporting back that they are having good times, and the things are pretty normal, just with a few less people than you're used to, right? So, as far as things you need to do differently or think about when you're in Puerto Vallarta, the main thing is just bring your mask and your hand sanitizer. They have them at your hotel when you come, but you're going to need to wear your mask on your airplane, at the airport. You're going to need to wear it in like public spaces where you're, say, checking in at your hotel or you're walking into a restaurant to get a table. You go into a store inside with people, grocery store, whatever. If you're standing there at check-in to check into your tour, you have your mask on. Then when you get social distance, you can take off your mask. If you're at the pool, at the beach, out, at deep sea, having a tour, things like that, you're not required to wear your mask. So you don't need to worry about that special tan line, the special mask wearing COVID tan line. You don't have to worry about that. It's just everything is spaced out, social distance at your hotel, so that without you even having to worry about it, you're keeping your distance. You would have to try to be around closer than is recommended. So other than that, the experience is pretty much the same. Just know that this has been in place now for 7-8 months. And so people know how to do it. Everybody's used to it. Everybody's certified by the government. Everybody is inspected constantly. It's in everybody's interest that these protocols are followed and that you have a great and safe experience, both for you and also for the people that work there. So you can see on our website at puertovallartatours.net, you'll see at the top there's a gray bar. You can click on the link there and you'll go to our coronavirus page. You might be watching this video on there already. And if you are, just look down the page. You'll see all the frequently asked questions, all the details, information, things that you might have on your mind and you wonder about. It's all there for you. So so you can check that out. And of course, if you have any questions, we have English speaking representatives that are happy to help you to understand what you need to do and how it's all going to work. Questions to help you make a great vacation in these times that we have now. So that's basically it as far as what everything's pretty much normal except social distancing and a mask requirement in Puerto Vallarta. So now, what about getting here? Like, can you come? And what's happening? The only thing that has changed, the only thing you have to do differently than what I've already said, is that if you're American, you now, before you come back into the United States, you will have to have a negative COVID test. And show that at the airport when you check in. Just like you give them your ticket, they'll say, give me your COVID test, and you'll give that to them. You can show it on your phone too. So now, how do you deal with that? I mean, I'm in Mexico. Like, how am I supposed to know how to do it? It's actually really, really simple because it's all set up for an all-inclusive experience for you. Your hotel, all the major hotels have doctors on staff inside of the hotel who will deliver this test for you. It's literally like a 1 minute or less test, like a 30-second test. They do a nasal swab for 30 seconds. And then, not even 30 seconds, I don't know the exact amount, but very short amount of time. Do a quick nasal swab. They put it in their pouch. They do their test right away. And within 10 minutes to 30 minutes, you already know the results. So this can happen just those few days right before you come back, right? So when it's still relevant. So that'll happen at your hotel. If you're staying at like an Airbnb or like a hostel or a villa or something like that, your host will set all this up for you, and they'll make sure that you have whatever you need in order to take care of that. Usually, what happens is a doctor comes to your house or your Airbnb. They come there. And they'll speak English and everything because it's all set up, of course, for you as a tourist and not a local Mexican. So they'll come to your place. They'll do the swab. 10 to 30 minutes. You'll have that. You'll probably have to pay something for those type of tests that are not provided at your hotel because most of the major resorts right now are offering these tests for free as part of your package. So I mean that's even price isn't an issue. But if some are charging and Airbnbs and like that, probably you'll have to pay something for that. But to get back in the U.S., you only need the antigen test. And the antigen test is cheaper than the PCR test. Antigen tests normally around, say, $10 to $40, like in that range. At the ones that I've seen lately have been around $25, $20, something like that. I've seen them as low as $12. So it's in that range somewhere, right? If you are asked to pay more, you won't be. So you just pay a small amount and you get that done quick and easy. Show it on your phone at the airport. Done deal. Any information you want about that, I just suggest that you go when you're choosing your hotel or Airbnb. When you're asking them questions, ask them that. Ask them at your place. What are your way to do it? Do you have, is it free? Do I, how is it going to work with my appointment? Do you have the doctor come to me? Do I need to go somewhere? Like that. They'll tell you ahead of time. You can make your decision based on partly that. And then, of course, when you get there, they're going to tell you all the things about that. So you're not going to be like wandering around, wondering what to do. I mean, everybody's going to take care of you. So, and this will depend, but most hotels right now are having it in-house and it's free of charge. So you don't have to worry about that. If you were to have a positive test, not like you're probably going to, but if you did have a positive test, of course, they don't want you coming on the airplane with COVID. So you wouldn't want that with somebody else. They don't want that from you. So what would you do? Your hotel would set you up. So you don't have to worry about, you're not getting carted off to some facility somewhere or, scary stuff. Your hotel take care of that. And a lot of hotels now are offering free stays if you have to, quarantine for a few days until your test becomes negative. They're offering you can stay at the hotel for free, for example. So not a bad gig. And just ask your hotel, what's that deal. But of course, with all these protocols in place and everything, there has not been hardly any people that are coming back having contracted anything in Puerto Vallarta. So, but of course, it's an abundance of caution. So, to letting you know about that. Now, if you are Canadian, you will need to quarantine the recommended amount of days when you come back. There is a quarantine requirement, as there's always been since beginning of coronavirus for Canadians. So you will need to take a PCR test, and which is, like I said, available at hotels, or your host or whatever will set you up with that. It is a little more expensive. These are normally between about $60 in Mexico, about $60 to $100, something like that. It just depends. But you'll see that there's a lot of options for how to do that. But probably your hotel will subsidize that cost, but there probably won't be free for the PCR test in most cases. So, and then let's see. So yeah, that's oh, the other thing is you probably heard on the news about quarantine requirements coming back for the U.S. That is not happening. It's only a recommendation. It is not a requirement. But it's just common sense. You go home, and when you get back, before you go back and hang out with your friends and go back to school and everything like that, they ask you to stay home for a week or so, stay away from people, just in case, right? By the time 7 days or so passes, you're pretty much good to go. But again, this is a recommendation. Nobody's throwing you in jail if you don't do that, but it is a recommendation that they have, as they have always had. This is not new. Just like they recommend that you can do your, they recommend you can think about taking a COVID test before and after you come back at your local CVS, your local Walgreens. The tests are usually free now in the United States. Just do it a few days before your trip or after, just out of an abundance of caution. Again, not required, just recommended. And these things take a very small amount of time. Nowadays, they cost a very small amount of money, especially if you plan ahead. And it's not and then you can go out and have your vacation like anything else. So it's not like a reason that you should rethink your travel plans or anything like that. It's just another hoop we have to go through. Just remember when we didn't used to have to even barely go through security to go through the airports. Well, now we do, but that's life, and we travel anyway. So this is the same kind of thing like that. So thank you very much. We're standing by with any questions. You can check our website, puertovallartatours.net. We're here to help you in any way we can. And we're looking forward to having you in Puerto Vallarta and having a great time on your vacation. All right. Talk to you soon.